everyone, my name is Kenny. I'm an international student studying at the University of Portsmouth, and I'm here to tell you guys 5 different cultural shocks I experienced when I moved to the UK. Let's get into the video. So before I start, I just want to put it out there like a disclaimer, but not a disclaimer. Basically, these cultural shocks might not be what everybody experienced. This might also be because of where you originally came from. I originally came from Nigeria, and it was also my first time in the UK, so these are like things I experienced for the first time. And yeah, just putting that out there. Let's get into the video. The first one is probably really obvious already, like it's very, very obvious, and it also might not be a cultural shock depending on where you come from. But I came from a country that had summer all year round. Like I never experienced winter in all my 20-something years on this earth. So when I came into the country, it was just really cold. That's the first cultural shock I experienced when I moved to the UK. The UK is actually really, really cold, and I'm not just saying, oh, it's chilly, put a cardigan on, put a like jumper on. No, put 5 layers of clothes on and get 2 winter coats type of cold. It was really cold, and like nothing genuinely prepared me for how cold it was gonna be. Like till this day, I cannot find the right words to emphasize how cold it is in the UK. And it's not cold for a month, it's cold for several months. It's been cold since October last year. Like it's cold. Like it's just really, really cold. And like that was like the first cultural shock I experienced when I moved here. It's still a cultural shock because I just cannot. Like I tell all my friends back home, it's like, it's so cold. I'm like, they're like, oh my god, it can't be that cold. I'm like, you don't get it. It's so cold. Oh, it's cold. I also have notes on my phone, so if you see me looking down on my phone, I'm actually checking my notes. The second cultural shock I experienced was in the UK, you guys drive at the left-hand side of the road. I think you guys drive by the right-hand side of the road and not the left-hand side. Just hold on, I think I'm gonna check right now. So in the UK, you guys drive at the left-hand side of the road, and in my country and basically some other places, we actually drive on the right-hand side of the road. So it was actually really, really confusing when I first came in. I would find myself always going to the driver's seat every single time because it was just literal like reflex for me. Like it was just, I would just not, like till this day, no matter how many like Ubers or how many people tend to drop me off, I would just always go to the right hand side, which ends up being the driver's seat in the UK. Like it's always so embarrassing, and it just always goes back to, oh no, I'm not originally from here. It was really weird. That's also another cultural shock I experienced. Another thing that I experienced is that when you go to the grocery store or the shop or anywhere, basically you have to pay for your plastic bags. Yeah, that was really surprising for me. Like I had absolutely no idea that you had to do that, because back home all our plastic bags were for free, but over here you'd have to like retain the ones that you buy at first, then take it back to the super store, or your shops, or like just wherever, and you basically have to like reuse them always. Another cultural shock for me is the slangs people use in the UK. So like obviously languages is different, but like I also come from an predominantly English speaking country, and the UK is actually like always just known for speaking English, and there was just slangs that UK people would use, like cheers, and it would just be like cheers as a form of like hi or thank you. But for us, anytime we said cheers, it was more of a toast, but like for wine glasses and everything. So it was also like quite surprising for me. Like people would like get off the bus and say cheers, or people would like try and say thank you for like a service that you offered them, and they'll be like cheers, and it's like, just say thank you. I'm sorry, but just say thank you. Like it's just always very, very confusing. And yeah, Um, and the last one I experienced was people being overly polite. Not overly polite, that sounds like a bad way to present it. People are just genuinely polite here, because back home we were like more on, like, if you go on the street you're not expected to like smile at people, especially when you make eye contact with people on the street. You're not really expected to acknowledge that you see them. You could just be on your way. But over here, like, once you make eye contact with somebody, it just reflects to like have a smile on your face and just be polite. And it was also really like surprising for me, because like back home you don't see people on the streets and just smile at them, like you don't know them. Why are you smiling at them? But here you guys are just really like very polite basically. So I remember like walking on the street and people would just randomly smile at me when I made eye contact with them, and it was always like, but now I do it also because, yeah, we're adapting to our society. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Those are the 5 different cultural shocks I experienced when I moved to the UK. There's also so much more, but I just cannot, so we don't spend the whole day here. But if you're an international student studying at Portsmouth or anywhere else and you have experienced some cultural shocks in the UK, please put it down in the comment section and let me know. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. See you later.